What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this video. I already got pups trying to join the video. Okay, you don't want to come? Okay, I got this one. Do you want to come? Do you want to be the guest star? So it's Waylon. What? You're a guest star, Waylon. So are you, Bronx. Okay, so today we are going to talk about Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. I know I'm a little slow on this. I'm gonna blame my finger on this. Actually, okay, here's a random side story for y'all to enjoy. I was getting my dog's food one night, like a week and a half ago, and we feed him chicken and rice for dinner, and I opened a new can of chicken, and I was chopping it up and jammed my middle finger right into the edge of a can lid, and my finger was bleeding like crazy. End of story. Okay, so Scooby-Doo and Guess Who has premiered. We actually have 2 episodes right now as of recording this. We have Revenge of the Swamp Monster, and I can't remember what the second episode is called, but you know, it's somewhere on the screen. You guys can read it. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts on the series thus far. Obviously, you know, things can change as the series progresses, but this isn't a series that you have to watch the episodes in order, but they are releasing them week by week, which I actually really enjoy. I kind of don't like when when shows release the entire season on their streaming platform, all of them on one day, because then it's like you can just binge watch them, and then you watch them within, you know, a couple of hours, and then you have to wait like a year or more for the next season, and it's just like, was it really worth it to watch them all at once? I like that they're doing week by week episode releases. That way I have something to look forward to each week, you know, a new episode each week, a new guest star. So yeah, we're gonna get into this Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. So if you don't know what this series is, it is the brand new Scooby-Doo series for 2019. We are done with Be Cool Scooby-Doo. We are on to Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. They're going back to a formula that they did in the 1970s, where they have a celebrity or a iconic character guest star in every episode. In the first episode, we had Chris Paul, who is a basketball player. Second episode, they were technically calling the guest star Abraham Lincoln, the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. But I'd like to more consider it as the Funky Phantom crew. If you've ever seen the Funky Phantom show from Hanna-Barbera, then you know who these characters are. But they also appear in this episode, which I think they appear more than the Ghost of Abraham Lincoln. And I don't understand why they were considering Abraham Lincoln the guest star, even though it was released on the week of the 4th of July. It's not why we're here. Okay, so we're gonna start with the animation of this series. I have notes on my phone, so that's why I'm looking at my phone. I have notes. Okay. So the animation with this series, we do away with whatever the animation style was with Be Cool Scooby-Doo. Honestly, I didn't hate it. It fit that series, but we're not gonna get into that. So, Be Cool. Wow. Hey. Scooby-Doo and Guess Who goes back to more original designs, original animation, but also while making it a little fresh and new, it makes it pop, it makes it look good for 2019. It has a retro look and feel again, but also being modernized and being, you know, a little poppy. You know, there's bright colors within dark colors, darker backgrounds with bright colors on the characters. It's really, really good. It's really great to see it in action too. It flows really good. I honestly was a little worried at first that they might go, I don't think they would ever go Adobe Flash animation route, but I was a little worried that it might look like that, but it does not. It flows great. It looks great in action. Loving it. Okay, the music is something I love in this series. Like the score, the background music, the background score. It's definitely a like funky type feel. It feels like a quote unquote modernized version of the original Scooby-Doo series music. Although it isn't the same tunes, it just has that feel of Scooby-Doo, you know, kind of being funky, you know, do 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 do. It's not that sound, that's from original Scooby-Doo, but it has that feel basically, and I really, really enjoy it. You can really feel the music when they're announcing the guest star, which that's something I'll get into in a second, but when they announce the guest star of the week or of the episode, I love the music right there that they play during that little section, and that really gives you a feel of how this series, at least the score, is for this series. Anyway, okay. So speaking of music, the theme song for this series, because theme song is big for Scooby-Doo. So the last two iterations, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated and Be Cool Scooby-Doo, has just been instrumental. There have been no words. We haven't had lyrics since Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue, but nobody really likes to talk about that one, so we'll say What's New Scooby-Doo. We haven't had lyrics since What's New Scooby-Doo, and that was a bop and a half. So, but I will say Mystery Incorporated's theme song, even though it doesn't have lyrics, is a bop and a half as well. I really enjoy that one. Be Cool Scooby-Doo's is a jam. Scooby-Dooby. Okay, anyway. So the theme song for this series actually goes back to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? It uses the same tune, again, a little different, a little more modernized, you know, they add little new instruments, a little different rhythm to it, but it is the Scooby-Doo, Where Are You theme song with a few altered lyrics. So I will actually play the theme song for you right now. Oh, it's over. Oh, that's one thing too. It's so short. That's one thing I don't like about it. It is so short. But whatever, it's still pretty good. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, honestly, but it's, you know, it gets the point across. Okay, so length of episodes for this series, I thought we were going to go back to 40-ish minute episodes like the new Scooby-Doo movies when they had guest stars on that series, but it's just normal 22-ish minute episodes. So I will say in the first episode I feel like they were trying to cram a lot in 22 minutes, and it kind of paced really fast and you were like, whoa, slow down. But I will say the second episode paced a lot better, and so that gave me a lot more hope for future episodes, that they kind of learned a pace as they went on. So yeah, it's 22, 23, 21 minutes, you know, right around there. Now guest stars. So obviously we've only had 2 episodes as of recording this. The first one being Chris Paul, like I said, and then the second being Abraham Lincoln, the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. And I thought in the first episode, they really did not, like, make Chris Paul the star of the show. I mean, they did, but, like, they didn't push out the gang to have Chris Paul in there. I do feel like they kind of pushed Fred, Daphne, and Velma a little bit in the back seat, but they did have a lot of Shaggy moments with Chris Paul, which I appreciated. Somehow Shaggy knew Chris Paul. It explains in the episode. But I enjoyed that, like, they knew each other, and so it focused a little more on that. Again, it did push, the rest of the gang a little bit back, but not to the point where you were like, where is the gang? Like, are they even doing anything? The second episode, I feel like they evened it out a lot with the Funky Phantom crew and the Scooby Gang. They really balanced that really well. My one problem I've noticed with this series thus far is I feel like from Be Cool Scooby-Doo, they had Daphne be like, one of the main characters, like Shaggy, Scooby, Daphne. And now I feel like they took Daphne and just threw her in the back seat again. Because I feel like, especially in the first episode, she like barely talked at all. Like, I honestly don't even remember her doing anything in that episode. Or even the second episode, I honestly can't remember what she really did. So I'm a little worried about that now they're kind of being like, oh, Daphne's boring again, let's put her back there so nobody notices her. I'm really hoping they fix this as the series goes on, because I really enjoyed what they were doing with Daphne, and I'm worried that they're basically getting bored of her now, again. Okay, so the overall feel of this series that I've gotten so far, as in terms of humor, I feel like it's dialed down a ton from Be Cool Scooby-Doo. But I mean, it is still there. Obviously, you have Shaggy and Scooby giving you most of the humor. When there is humor, it is, spot on, makes you laugh, makes you giggle, makes you smile, so they do a really good job with the humor, but it is definitely dialed down. The horror aspect of the series, I feel like, is just gone. I mean, Be Cool Scooby-Doo kind of took that away too, because we had it so, like, in our face in Mystery Incorporated. Like, that series is horror all the way, pretty much, and I feel like Be Cool Scooby-Doo kind of went the total opposite direction, and now I feel like Guess Who is kind of taking both and kind of mixing them a little bit. Like, I definitely haven't had like a, ooh, that was creepy feeling yet with this series, but I definitely have had those like moments of like, oh, I like the villain designs basically so far. I like the villains that they've had so far. I like the villain designs. I've liked, that they've had lore behind the villains. Again, we've only seen 2 episodes as of recording this, so. A few just remaining thoughts I've had. I already mentioned Daphne being kind of pushed back to the back seat. Fred definitely, I feel like, has been dialed down in this series, because Mystery Incorporated, he was obsessed with traps, and then in Be Cool Scooby-Doo, he was like being obsessed about being the leader of the group and knowing he's the leader of the group. And now I feel like he doesn't really have a niche, so to say, with this series, at least as of yet. In the second episode, he does kind of have a moment of, I build traps. I'm the one to build the traps, towards the Funky Phantom crew, which I actually enjoyed. That was kind of a little wink and a nod to, people who have watched Mystery Incorporated and Be Cool, but it wasn't like in your face, so that was, it was a good balance. But I do feel like Fred has gotten dialed down from what he has been the last 2 iterations. So far, at least as far as I can remember, the Mystery Machine has had no signs of being a transformer, basically, in this series. Be Cool Scooby-Doo, it could turn into almost anything they wanted. Again, it fit that series though, and Mystery Incorporated, it was pretty much just their vehicle, so to speak, which I feel like that's how it is in Guess Who. It's just their vehicle that they're using. There hasn't had a moment of Fred being like, oh, the Mystery Machine, I love it so dearly, or it hasn't had a moment of, oh no, we're in a crisis, push this button and it'll turn into exactly what we need. So we haven't had any moments of that as of yet. So who knows? And in the first episode, actually, we did get Scooby Snacks. I feel like Scooby Snacks has really kind of been thrown out the door lately. Like, they haven't cared about it. The creators and writers just haven't wanted to deal with Scooby Snacks. But they were present in the first episode. I don't recall them being in the second episode, but they were in the first episode. And it wasn't a big deal, you know, it was just kind of like, oh, here's some Scooby Snacks, you know, but it was appreciated that they at least put it in, because I do miss Scooby Snacks, you know, it's like one of those things that you have to have in Scooby, otherwise what is the series, or the show, anyway. And then something else I wanted to talk about too, like I said, is they introduce the guest stars, so they play the opening theme music, and then they introduced the guest star and they showed the episode title, which honestly I love when shows put the episode title in the episode, like you can see it, whether they do a whole title card for it or whether they just have it at the bottom of the screen. I really am sad when series don't put the title of the episode up on the screen for you to see. But they have the whole gang kind of standing, you know, being like creeping and whatever. Velma's holding a flashlight. She's kind of holding it down when it first pops up, when the title screen pops up, and then once whoever says who the guest star is, she flashes the flashlight up and it reveals the guest star, you know, standing in the spotlight basically. And the first episode it was Shaggy who said the guest star, and the second episode it was Velma. We wondered if it would always be Shaggy, because in the new Scooby-Doo movie series, actually, Shaggy always introduced the guest stars of the episodes. But it looks like for this series, they're going to alternate between the gang, which I think is really cool. But I also think it's really cool that they're doing this. It's kind of a homage to the new Scooby-Doo movies. If you guys ever watched it, you know, if anybody ever watched that series, then you get a more of a nostalgic feel with that. And anyways, yeah, so my overall thoughts for this series is it's definitely a nostalgic feeling series. They're trying to really push classic into it, which I think a lot of fans have kind of been wanting lately, because we loved Mr. Incorporated, but then not everybody really got into Be Cool Scooby-Doo. Not a lot of people gave it a chance, honestly. But I think it was a good decision to go back to original roots and original, you know, tropes and stuff with Guess Who, because it's gonna bring fans back, reel them back in. They've kind of been drifting away, and now it's gonna reel them back in. I've enjoyed the series so far, and I always look forward to a new episode every week. I'm excited to see the rest of the episodes, the rest of the villains, the rest of the guest stars. And we do know there's going to be a season 2. We don't know when it's going to premiere yet, but we do know that there will be a season 2. So once season 1 ends, then we can look forward to a second season. So anyways, guys, let me know if you guys have seen this series. Let me know if you've seen episode 1 or 2. As of recording this, it just started airing on Cartoon Network today. So if you don't have Boomerang, it is airing on Cartoon Network now. So if you have cable or have a way to watch Cartoon Network, you can go ahead and catch the episode, you know, when it airs. And let me know your thoughts of the series, of the show. Let me know what your favorite moments are, what your favorite episode between the two are so far. And yeah, I really enjoyed this series, and I'm really excited for it. Thank you all for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button. It's always appreciated for me, for you. Press that subscribe button so then you don't miss any of my future videos. And I guess hit that bell, because then it lets you know when I upload, so then you really don't miss any of my videos. And I'll see you all in my next one. Goodbye!